Hello and welcome to your weekly roundup from all things that are happening on the PM store. So how are we doing today, gentlemen?
Fine, thanks.
Yeah, good. Yeah, all good. Have you seen he's got his new attire on?
I was going to say, is he in his new workwear?
Yeah, all picked up on Monday, so he's got his new workwear on.
Hoodie's a bit snug.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Might have to use a bit of timber.
PM 2XLs aren't the same as Flory 2XLs, obviously.
These are fitted, mate.
Fitted.
These are fitted.
Oh, fair enough then. Does this mean now I can have my old hoodie back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the same size, but it's not quite.
No.
It'll do.
It'll be fine.
Close enough. You don't have to do it up anyway. It's fine.
True.
Yeah, apart from that, all good, mate. Yeah.
Very good. So I can see we've got some new bits and pieces in.
Yeah, we've got some new arrivals. So obviously we'll start with the Dornier because that's been on a pre-order. So they arrived on Monday. So they're boxed up and will be gone out.
Yes.
Actually, they arrived yesterday. They didn't arrive Monday. They arrived yesterday. Sorry. So they arrived Tuesday. So yeah, they're going to get them boxed up and they'll be gone.
So all the pre-orders for those ones you've invoiced everybody, yeah, because there was a pre-order on those, wasn't it?
Still a couple to pay. Say a few have gone out already. The rest of them will go out.
We'll get them out later on. They'll be out and about, and the rest of them that are overstocked are back in on the new arrivals section.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting. That's the ICM kit, isn't it? So it'll be a nice,
Very nice.
as well.
Yes. Yeah.
The goodies. And actually, I was quite surprised. I was expecting that to be in a bigger box for some reason.
I just realised the site box art is a different box art to the...
Yes, that's what I'm looking at as well. How comes they've done it the other way round, haven't they? They've changed it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They've all been
they've all been. Oh, right. So it's not going to go in with posters.
Yeah, which the box art, the original...
Yeah, the box art is the poster one.
I wonder if you actually buy the poster version, you get it like that. Instead.
Or perhaps they're going to do a limited edition that way.
Oh, controversial. That is. What, chuck a tornado in with it as well?
Yeah, you get a free tornado with it.
You know, it's got a quarter of a swastika on it as well.
Yes. No. Well, it's an iron cross, isn't it? Slightly different.
Is it iron cross?
It's not a swastika, is it? That's an iron cross.
Yeah, it's an iron cross.
Yeah, it is iron cross.
No, we've seen it, yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think they'd quite go down that route.
Yeah, I think even they might draw the line.
I didn't see the inner bit of it, yeah.
But, yeah, interesting thing. So they've come in, and as you can see, with a bit of kinetic in, the Global Hawk and the Reaper.
Yes.
Which is not new kits, but we've gone in, so...
Yeah, to be honest, these are Reeboxes. They used to be under their other brand name, which I don't think they use anymore, of being Skunkworks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because to be honest, I built both of those as well, and a long time ago, but they were in Skunkwork boxes. So this one was to hand, and we've done it. To be honest, as I say, there's not a lot to it. It's a bit of a mojo build, because I think I did this as a one-day build and put it together, but it's something quite nice, something a little bit different to do the old UAVs. So they take out, and as I say, that Global Hawk there is massive, because don't forget, it's the same size as a 737 wingspan on that. It's not a small aircraft. Everyone thinks it's a little tiny thing. It ain't. It's huge. So...
At least there's no clear parts to mask, eh?
To be honest, that's the beauty of this, isn't it? No clear parts. You've just got the alien head on the front. So
that's you, didn't I? said it looks like an alien.
Yeah, definitely. So yes, interesting stuff, I must admit. And as I say, if you're into sort of your modern stuff, they're quite a nice ones. They go together really well. I have to say, you know, apart from I did make the schoolboy error of forgot to put nose weight in it. So it's not a lot, because to be honest, it's just literally it doesn't have a lot of high alpha for landing, that's for certain, because there's not a lot in it. But yeah, I did forget the nose weight in mine. So when I have mine, I lean it against things at the back.
Yes.
So it looks good. But yeah, generally quite nice kits, considering they're quite basic. They don't break the bank either. They're not massively. Considering, to say, the 48th one is huge. Yeah. For 23 quid, it's a bit of a bargain.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. So if you are into your UAVs, they are quite nice kits to go together really nicely, no problems whatsoever. As I say, there's not a ton of detail because of what they are, but interesting subjects nevertheless.
Yeah, definitely, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, something a bit different, isn't it? So
yes.
Therein, other new arrival is the Leyland Retriever from ICM. It's another British truck, which I presume they're going to do a few more versions of, and like Monty's Caravan was based on one of them, so I can see that happening because they'd be a bit silly if they didn't.
Yes.
And then they did a few other versions. I think they did a Wrecker and all sorts. It was one of them general purpose trucks in it. But again, I think the first one I know of in injection styrene. I think you could get a resin one.
Mm-hmm.
I think ResiCast do resin ones. I was going to say Accurate on, but I don't know if Accurate. Definitely ResiCast do resin ones. But yeah, they're going to do an early and later one because that one's got no windscreen. I think the later ones actually came with a windscreen.
Yeah.
Because that is a bit open, isn't it, to be honest?
It flies in your teeth, or doesn't go that fast.
Yeah, it won't be comfortable if it's absolutely chucking it down with rain, would it? You get drenched, you know. At least you got a cover. Cover and no windscreen.
Keep the top of your head dry, but the rest of you soaked.
There's no doors. You've got a bit of canvas, I think, rolled up for your doors as well. But there you go. I suppose it's cost cutting at the time and
this is it.
I suppose if you're in North Africa, fantastic.
Yeah.
Roof off.
Yeah.
Apart from you getting sandblasted instead.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, but there was your goggles on, wouldn't you, and your scarf or whatever around your face, neckerchief.
Yeah.
But interesting. I think it's an interesting subject, and we'll see where they go with it. But yeah, like I say, hopefully they will bring the caravans out because I think that would be good. And then last but not least for our new arrivals is Amusing Hobbies Centurion 5 AVRE.
Yes.
An Avre.
An Avre, yes.
Which I don't know if anybody's ever done
that
as a kit, to be honest.
No.
So
not as a kit. I think you can get resin
You'd have seen them, wouldn't you?
conversions. Yeah.
So I presume that's Gulf War 1.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So is it a breaching vehicle, is it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It's a what, breaching?
Yeah.
Or bridging?
Breaching.
No, breaching.
It's got a big
Bulldozer on it.
bulldozer on it and
a short barrel, so it doesn't stick the barrel through everything first.
But
yes,
yeah,
very nice.
Obviously, Amusing Hobbies do all the weird and wacky stuff that really don't exist, like paper panzers and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's actually nice to see them actually just something that exists.
Something real,
And it's got all the thingy armour on it, isn't it?
The reactive armour on it.
Reactive armour on it. So I think it's interesting. So you can do a couple of schemes.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from the Gulf one, there you go. So yeah, we'll have to.
It's cool.
I said the other Centurions is the FE ones, isn't it? But they don't. They don't do. They definitely don't do that version of it.
Yeah, they just do the Israeli ones, don't they?
Yeah, the early, just normal ones,
British
don't they?
one,
The Aussie one, which I've built. So yeah, a bit interesting.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's a bit slow on the new arrivals front again with kits and stuff. So, but what we have had in is some tools.
I was going to say, we've got lots of tools on the restock, which is
We've
nice.
got tools coming in, definitely back on the restock. So we've got some new ones, as in the Meng tweezers, and these are the intermediate cutters, not the really expensive ones, the ones down, but they're still single-sided.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to, wonder how they stack up against sort of the Trumpy ones, the.
Also, I think these ones are very similar in their design, if I've got the ones here, to the Mr. Hobby ones, aren't they?
Yeah, I've not got no Mr. Hobby ones here, but
because I've got the Mr. Hobby ones here.
Yeah.
And looking at them, they are a different design. They're not saying they're exactly the same or anything else like that, but just looking at the way that they do it, they're very similar in their way. So I think that's really what they've done with. They've gone from as we said, the trumpeter ones, which I'll be honest with you, I've used the trumpeter ones in anger completely on the Seahawk build because I wanted to give them a fair try. Yeah. And to be honest, I do like them as well because the spring's not as strong. So it's quite nice. And it worked beautifully. And to be honest, like we said before, when you're into this sort of world of cutters, and let's face it, I have them all, you've got your budget ones, which the Master Tool ones, I think are great. I have no problem at all. As I say, I use them right the way through the build, and I will use them on the next builds. And then really you've got this type of thing, which I think are very similar to the Mr. Hobby ones. These are all single action or single blade cutters. They're very nice as well, no problem at all. And then obviously you've got your display ones, which are getting nearer your sort of god hands if you're limitless budget, So definitely very, very nice, all of them. But again, I think it's one of those nice things where, to be honest with you, unless you really want to be doing zero cleanup and you're thinking God hands ones,
Yeah.
there's not a lot in it. Not when you're talking with the price difference between these things, you know.
These look pretty much identical to the display ones.
I think you don't get your little leather case with them,
Right?
to keep stabbing yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, because obviously I've got some display ones I've been using.
Yeah.
Even the spring's the same colour.
Yeah, they don't look a lot of difference. I don't know if it's just because you get a fancy red handle or orange handle and a leather.
Well, looking at the moulding
sheath.
from it, the moulding is different on those to these.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're exactly the same from that point of view, but the design has got a definite liberty to it. But let's face it, Meng do get them from a similar factory, if not the same one.
Display on them. It says display on them.
Yeah, well there you go.
Oh, it does.
So
Yeah.
I haven't got a number. What was the old one called? The version 1 point whatever? Perhaps it's that version.
It could be, yeah. It could be the one down now. They've got the newer one.
Because I obviously broke mine.
I don't
So
think it says on it, does it? Any
I don't know.
version?
It looks identical to yours.
I don't know. Perhaps it is the same. I don't know, mate, to be honest. But Andy says it looks the same as
so
mine.
again, 25 quid again. Really good cutters. If they are working just as well as the display normal ones, then yeah, absolutely.
So, and also the tweezers, which I've been using on my Jaguar build and stuff when it comes in. I've got the display versions, but they're exactly the same ones because they are the main display, as it says.
Yeah.
So we've got the pointed ones and the round ones, and I
I have them both here, and I use them exclusively. I love them. Very, very nice.
Tweezers, actually.
Yeah, I've got the pointy ones.
Yeah, I actually prefer the round ones.
Oh, right.
I find the pointy ones just things ping off. I think that's probably my ham-fistedness rather than the tools. I do prefer the round ones.
They're lethally sharp if you drop them on your lap.
They're lethally sharp if you put your hand through them as well, to be honest, when you go pick them up. But yeah, so we've got them in as well. So we've got a bit of high-end tweezers, along as obviously we've got the what's left of the Mr. Hobby ones as well. So now you've got a budget. So you've got the Trumpy ones that we carry, which is a set of 4, which are fine as well. They're good for the money, aren't they? And
yeah, absolutely.
We've got these in and the snips. So yeah, and then obviously scrapers are back in. What else did we get in? I don't know. Scrapers and something else came in the other day.
Yeah, so it's the deburring type ones which we always harp on about. These are all back in stock now as well. So you've got all the different ones down in here.
Oh, the bending tools back in, aren't we?
Bending tools as well. Pin vices, the thing they're back in stock. So
yes.
So yeah, I think we've pretty much got all the stuff in. We're going to be waiting on the Tamiya stuff back in. That's not going to be back until later in the year, unfortunately. So, but yeah, stuff coming in again. Like we've said, it's feast and famine again, isn't it? So
yes. But at least it is moving a little bit. We're now quite happy that we've sorted out our import problems.
Yep.
Hence, we've got tools again. So, because that was a little bit of a headache for us, that has been since New Year.
Yeah.
This is our first delivery we've had in, but hopefully now that's sorted and fixed. And generally going in and out now, it's starting to sort of work itself out, which is the main thing.
Second now, we've had 2, haven't we? From them.
Yeah, they're coming all right now. So that's, like I say, it's nice to know we can get stuff back in from them. So
exactly a week.
Yeah, so that's good. And then the next thing, we've got a pre-order up, actually, a brand new pre-order, which is very limited. So if anybody would like one, please contact you or... Well,
just put the name down in the pre-order list.
Put your name down in the pre-order list. Now, this is for the Infinity Models 132nd Helldiver, which is originally the HPH kit.
Yes.
And they're doing a line of 30-second stuff. A Vampire's coming out and an Archivale and some other glider and something else into it. But this is the first one down, that we're going to get in. So if anybody's interested, then please put your name down, because like I said, this is going to be a limited run sort of pre-order on this, because the order's got to be in for next week. So
do we know what day?
What, next week? What, early, to be honest. We'll probably be shutting it Monday.
All right, yeah.
I'd say, so I can get it in for Tuesday. So
just to clarify for people who don't know, what's happened is obviously HPH, as we know, and I've got them here, make beautiful, highly detailed resin models, but they are 100% resin and metal and stuff like that. There's maybe a couple of bits of injection molding, but primary it's the other way round. But what these ones are with Infini models is that they've injection molded certain parts of it. You still get a lot of resin with it though, don't you?
No, there's no resin in the base.
There's no resin at all now?
No.
All right, so I don't know exactly how this is until we actually get hold of one. If this is a cut down version of the original HPH Helldiver, they simplified it, but obviously we're thinking that they've used the mouldings or certainly the CAD information and stuff like that to do an injection moulded version of it.
You can get
the said one.
You can get the Bombay is available in resin, and the Turtle Deck's available in resin.
There's X sets for its seat belts. There's a lot of aftermarket for it to add to it if you wanted to.
And we can get it if somebody does want the extras, we can get them if they message me along with the kit. We can get them. But again, it's on the same time scale. We need to put the order in.
It's one of them you need to tell us so we can get it ordered.
Yeah, but it's a nice
wing fold. You can get the wing
fold
fold is resin on that.
Well, that wasn't available for the original.
Well, you've got that one, haven't you? The resin one.
Yeah, I've got the resin one. Yeah, but that wasn't available. The wing fold. So if you've got the resin one, you want wing fold.
Yeah, you can get it.
You can get it, innit?
I have to say, I like the Helldiver, isn't it? I just don't know. There's something about the plane. I quite like them. I can remember the old Matchbox one. Probably that's why.
Yeah.
In 30 seconds, it's going to be a lump.
Yeah.
It's not a small aircraft. But...
So it is. So if you've ever been put off by the thought of obviously working with a solid resin kit and all the, I don't think there's many minuses to it, but I know a lot of people say there is. Then obviously this is for you because obviously it's the same thing, same level of detail, but obviously in injection molded. But obviously because of the refinements of the injection molding, it hasn't got all the goodies that is available as was the resin. So don't think this is just a plastic version of the resin one. That's what I'm saying, is it?
No,
this is a simplified version of. But you could add. Yeah.
I think you still get seatbelts from
HGW.
The HGW. Are they HGW seatbelts? Yeah, you do. You definitely do get decent seatbelts with it, and it is well detailed, but maybe not as much
as
the
crisp.
One.
I suppose I don't know. We'll have to see when they come in. We'll get you one to review and have a look at because it's interesting. Because if they're like we've said, if they are, I don't know if they're a division of HPH or they're completely separate and they're just working with them. But obviously with HPH's back catalogue, there's some interesting subjects if they are going to convert them. Because obviously as well with HPH, they specialise for museums as well, don't they?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like the Vampire, if that is theirs or completely different and we've never seen it commercially, but they've done it for somebody else, or I don't know much about it. I presume the information will come out at some point of who they are, what they're doing and whatever, but like I said, if they do some more HPH stuff, I think they've got some proper interesting subjects. So
Catalina for Phil.
A Catalina in 30 seconds for Phil, yeah, absolutely.
In fact, to be honest, if they turn around and they did do an injection moulded version, I'd probably do it. Because to say, that is the thing, I'm not being funny, a lot of it is when you look at HPH kits, you just know that's going to be a good chunk of time to do it. You're not going to be talking getting that out in a couple of weeks. It's going to take you months and months and months of good, solid dedication into it. Yeah. And I think that is very off-putting to a lot of modelers, especially when HPH do big stuff as well, like the 48 scale Peacemaker and all of those silly things. It's, you need a large area to display it. It's going to be a lot of work to actually do it all and all the rest of it. So in some ways, it's quite nice that they've taken the decision to obviously go down this route of saying, look, this is a simplified version of build it straight out of the box, but I would think it would make good business sense to allow, like they obviously have done, is to say, but you can, if you wanted to, use the resin parts in it, for some of the detailed areas, so you could detail it up to just as much. But if you didn't want to have the fuselage, the big bits which can give problems, wings and stuff, because obviously the big thing as well, I know HPH, I'm not sure if theirs is metal pinned, is it, Andy? Do they underpin theirs with the frame?
Yeah.
So, because obviously over time resin can sag, I've had it happen, and things like that. So it is one of those things. They need to have a good, structure into them. But again, if you don't want to go down the giant, what will be months out of your life doing it, then you can go along and take the more simplistic option and add the details you want to add into it.
I think commercially it makes sense, to be honest, like you've just said, because the resin kits are.
And again, the price point, there we are, we're talking 90 quid, So again, that's a nice, because it's 32nd, it's a big old lump, isn't it? How much is the resin version?
200
and something,
is it?
Yeah, about 230.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing with it, isn't it? You're taking your choices, but that seems to be a bargain when you're thinking you're up to 230 quid with the other one.
Well, wasn't it the largest single-engined aircraft in the Second World War?
Don't know.
I think it might have been.
I don't know. I know they're big. They're not small, are they? To say it's got to land on the carrier as well. So yeah, it could have been. Yeah, I don't know.
I seem to remember it's in here somewhere down the back here.
So yes, anyway, a very interesting subject, definitely. And as I say, it'd be nice to do a review on that and just see how much detail has been lost potentially or gained through it and all things like that. Yeah.
Hey, could you have a one-to-one comparison with Andy's?
Yeah, look, get Andy's out. We do a one-to-one comparison. Andy can do the review, look, and do a side-by-side. He got the uniform now, he's fine. Speaking of the pre-orders, I don't know if you just want to whip through the ones that are current.
Well, to be honest, we're closing a lot down. To be honest, I think we've shut the Chipmunk down now.
Right.
That one's done.
The tanks are due soon, aren't they?
The tanks are doing actually very soon, and we've got a feeling of the Beaufort and the Sabre as well could be in soon from Airfix. So this is all.
I did notice yesterday they did Airfix put up photos, didn't they, of the Sabre?
So normally that means they are imminent, and we know somebody on the other side of the planet said a Beaufort.
The Lancaster's supposed to be due in April, May time. I've now put a confirmed price on the pre-order for it.
Yeah, but again, I think we've closed that because that was just meant nuts. So make sure we can get
around. Yeah, we need to clean that in here because we've got the old McLarens in here still and stuff.
Yeah, so again, I think they're due soon. I'm sure that's due in as well soon. The McLarens, a lot of them are due in, I would say, in the next month or so. Containers and all the other bits have to be taken into account. But yeah, most of them are doing. The problem we've got is actually finding stuff to replace it because it seems a bit. Either stuff's going to be back end of the year, so there's not much point putting a pre-order up yet, or there's nothing really nothing exciting, if you know what I mean, that we think is going to be all right. So as soon as stuff comes available or we get info, then we'll get some more pre-orders up. But it seems like we had a load, and now it's gone a bit quiet. But I presume that's obviously
shipping problems,
usual things of what's going to be most of this year, I think. But yeah. But if there's any open you want to get your name down quick, because we are probably going to be shutting them at some point.
Also, if there is anything that people can think of, members can think of that is worth putting up for pre-order that's due in that we might have missed.
Yeah, we'd have
message me and then just like
we'll have a discussion about it. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, somebody's mentioned about doing the SR71, haven't they?
But that's not
due out until
autumn, is it?
Yeah, autumn.
Winter probably. Yeah. So we'll do one nearer the time if people are interested in it.
Yeah, definitely.
Phil can't wait to review it, can you? So that's going to be massive. That's going to not fit on your cutting mat, is it?
No, that's not cutting mat size. That's about that big, I think.
That is going to be huge.
It is going to be a large lump. It will. To be honest with you, it's one of the kits actually I'm looking forward to reviewing. Purely because I've done the testers one.
Yeah.
Horrible. Although some of their kits are quite good though, aren't they, Andy? Anyway, so the thing is, it's one of those though, is that how much detail can be added to it though? Because let's face it, the real thing hasn't got much detail onto it because it is just skin. And all the rest of it. I know some people do fantastic weathering jobs with it, but I've seen the real thing and been around it like most of us have, and it's like there's not a great deal of detail going on with it.
But don't you think then that plays well into Revell's hands?
Yes.
And that's not a dig at Revell, but it's a pretty basic aeroplane to begin with, and their kits are to a price point, and they're not
Yeah.
overly detailed, so it suits it well. I don't know. That's a bit, yeah.
It will be interesting. Well, yeah, that's it. It will be interesting to see how they do the parts breakdown. Are they going to do the traditional and have it in sort of 4 sections,
Yeah.
and then have to join it up, or are they going to be a little bit more creative? And I think in some ways it's always interesting when, especially with a very old kit that's been out decades, is how a manufacturer goes about a new tool one. Because sometimes I often think is that they've just added more detail to technically the old one because the design is the same. You know, the parts go together the same. It's interesting when a manufacturer takes a different way of doing a kit. You know, we can have a look at it in a moment, but it makes me, the Phantom, you've probably seen the photos up, they've released all the sprue shots of the Tamiya Phantom. How they've done the parts breakdown is quite interesting because it's not a standard Phantom. So they've done it to do more tooling, and you can see other versions into it quite clearly now, but the way that they've gone about doing it isn't the standard sort of way Phantoms go together. So yeah, interesting.
Tamiya though, isn't it?
Yeah, reinvented the wheel.
Reinventing the wheel, yeah, as I said, and in I can't even say it, you know, engineering as they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, cool. So just some questions.
We can do some questions. Okay, so first question up is from Tony. He says, "Hi guys, any ideas when Hataka lacquer thinner will be back in stock?"
Fun ordering. It's simple as that, to be honest, because we've been doing other things. I've not really, you know, I know our supplier did have issues with getting Attacker in. I think that's been resolved to a point. So yeah, we'll get it in. We've got the Attacker racks looking a bit depleted, to be honest, again. So we're going to have a stock up of that in the next week or so. So yeah, be soon.
Right. Russell says, "Have you ever considered stocking etch in the PM store for, say, basic common kits, etc., or is there too much of it around to stock it? You wouldn't know what stock and what may be." So we spoke about this before, haven't we? The trouble is when you go down photo etch, just say Edard, you just out of interest, it's thousands. Their product list runs into tens of thousands. So even to say keeping the, you know, we often say about this, don't we? About we'll get in like certain ranges of kits. Everybody wants all the different ones. So to say just common stuff is very, very difficult as well. It's like we were saying, we can get it in. If you want us to get stuff in as like special orders, we can do all of that. It's not a problem. Just give the guys a shout and we can get it in for you. And we can, you know, say you wanted a kit with the aftermarket, we can do it all. It's just for us to stock that at this time. We'd rather put the money into other areas, you know, and other product ranges, rather than just saying, well, we're going to spend a huge chunk on etch and potentially just have it sat in the warehouse, you know, until it goes.
I think it's just so vast, and like he's put in his question, what do you choose? You know, I think me and you've discussed it last year or whenever, didn't we? And said about, well, perhaps a mass set and a zoom set.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, I think that would be more than enough for people to be happy. But then, what do you stock out of them ranges? Because it is vast, and it's every month there's a new batch coming out for this. Do you know, it just goes on, and you know. Yeah,
potentially we have said about, as I said before, maybe we'll get in a zoom set and a mask set for a specific kit. Yeah. So perhaps like when we do the pre-orders for stuff, as you've seen, we might one day be able to say turn around and offer.
Yeah.
As part of a package deal, so you can have all the bits of it. We've spoke about it, but then again, it's, you know, normally if you're talking about the pre-order stuff, that stuff isn't out yet. So because that normally follows a couple of months down the line, so you're always chasing each other way of doing it. But we have spoken about doing perhaps special deals one day where we will discuss what we think the kit needs and make that part of a package deal, and you buy it all in one. But again, you know, what we think is a good seller has proven by the majority of the membership is probably not what everyone else thinks. So you know, so it's very difficult to know what to do, you know. But certainly if people want to, you know, if they're planning on buying X kit and they know for a fact that there's photo etch available or resin bits or mask set for it, just let us know and we can get those in for you and do it, you know, get it all in one place if you wanted to. It's just we don't physically hold it because it's a lot of money tied up. You know, just sat there doing not a lot, you know. So.
Yeah, it's space as well, and space has become a premium in this place at the minute.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we to be honest, the warehouse, we're running out of room as it is. So Yes, until we knock through or buy B&Q out or something, and that's all of their warehouses.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's also saying about stocking, styrene sheet, etc. We have spoke about this. What we might do is get in the multi-pack stuff, isn't it, for the minute? So we will perhaps, we can get it through a couple of our different stockists. The sets like I use, I tend to just buy the multi-sets. And then that way you get different thicknesses of plastic card and different shapes and do those ones rather than all the specifics. Because then again, it's vast and those go on forever as well. So it's a little bit like photo etch on those ones.
Yeah.
Okay, Jerry says, hello, Phil, Matt and Andy. Would any of you have any ideas who manufactures the resin seats for the Azur's models at all, please? Azur model?
Azur.
I believe that Azur rebooks other manufacturers' kits and then add some extra detailing, e.g. like the seats. I'm after a 72nd scale what is that?
French ejection seat.
French ejection seat. Luckily, Andy's pre-read these. I haven't. For the Magister build, I've trawled the internet. I've even emailed a couple of the usual manufacturers, but currently, apart from Aero Club ones on eBay in the US, are quite expensive, mainly postage. I've only seen them within Azur's Minstrel kit.
Mistral,
yes.
I did look yesterday and I couldn't find anyone that's got them for sale. I mean, like Matt said, the later versions of that aircraft, I don't think the that ejection seat that Phil mentioned,
that one,
was in very long, and then they changed them for Martin Baker 5s, didn't they?
Yeah, because it's a Vampire. It's a French license built Vampire, wasn't
that's the other one.
Was that the other one?
That's the other one.
Right.
Oh right. Oh, I don't know.
That's the Miss Dare or whatever it was.
Yeah, the mystery plane. The Master in it.
Yeah.
So no, we pulled a blank really because you did do a bit of research and no, we're none the wiser anyway. So it might be you have to bite the bullet if you really want one.
I couldn't even find much information about that injection seat.
No, it can't have been used for very long, and then they went to a Martin Baker, didn't they? So don't know. If the Aero Club's the option, that's the option, isn't it?
Yeah.
So unless a member or whatever has got something they don't want, or I don't know, you could always ask in the wanted bit on the forum just to see. You never know, do you?
This is true. Okay, David says, hi all, hope we're all well. I've acquired a 48 scale set of decals for the Royal Netherlands What If F-16. What is a What If F-16? I was hoping to purchase a Mojo satisfying Tamiya shake and bake kit until I discovered the minefield that is the F-16. A, B, C and D, most of the alphabet, block 5, so forth and all the rest of them, they all look roughly the same to me, but the main decal sight on the vertical stabilizer needs to be corrected. The main difference is the longer tail with what I'm guessing is the brake shoe. True. Anyway, long story short, I've researched the airframe and it is blah blah blah, and it's an F-16A MLU Block 15. The only one you can get is the Kinetic M on the FAR website. I'm just thinking who else does those. I think you're probably right. That is the only one.
That's it. Kinetic one's only.
Yeah, Kinetic.
There was the Italeri one,
which is the Kinetic.
Is it? Because I built that when I first got back into the hobby. I built it because they had the fancy tail of the Dutch Amazonian ladies on it.
Yes.
They did an Ecuadorian one and something because they had a really cool decal sheet, which I think I've still probably got behind in the box. But I did the Dutch one.
Yes.
And was that the Kinetic kit then, was it?
No, I don't think that one was. I think they switched over after that.
Oh, right. So that was Italeri's own.
I don't know whose kit that was, to be
it
honest.
It's Italy. It's recessed and stuff, and actually I didn't find it was a bad kit. But again, it's in production. I don't think it's been in production for a long time. It'll be second hand. And like I say, the only other one I know of is Kinetic's NATO Fighter, as they call it, which is the one we've got back in stock because that was out of stock, but we've got it back in now. But the Tamiya ones are no good because they're later, aren't they? They're well different.
Yeah, the Tamiya ones, to be honest, they're a lot later blocks. They're the blocks sort of 30s and 40s and 50s. So they're the later ones. But also you'll need the complete tail because you've got the brake chute. But it has the extended bit on the back of it that has the parachute in it.
Asagawa and Academy do F-16s in 48, but I don't know what they are. I don't know what.
I think they are early Block 15s. They're the earlier ones. They are.
Well, again,
so I'm not sure though what tails those ones have got.
I've got no. I don't know, obviously, but again, it's finding them because they're not in production. So you're looking second-hand ones again for definite. I don't know. I presume you've built an Asagawa F-16 in 48, and an Academy one, have you not?
Yeah, and they're all very nice, to be honest. Well, the Academy ones, but the Hasegawa one's actually very nice. It's recessed. It's not on the par, obviously, with Tamiya and stuff like that, but it's a basic version, but it's beautifully recessed, and it goes together really well. Cockpit's a bit basic, but, generally, they're pretty good kits. That's probably where you want to go, but I'm not sure about the all-important brake chute, because it has an extension behind the tail that hangs out the back, which has got the brake chute in it. I'm pretty sure it has it. So that's the only thing I think you're going to have to look at. I think your best bet as a starting place would be to get the Kinetic European one, which is the MLU, isn't it?
Yeah.
And go from that, and you could probably get that into it. But again, you're saying here about you're not worried about it. If it all looks fine to you and you're okay, then that's absolutely fine. The European ones, those types of ones, tend to be the MLUs, which is like the Block 15s, isn't it? The earlier ones. And then they've had different upgrades to the way the American ones went up to the block sort of 30s, 40s, 50s and 60s in theory. So personally I think your best bet is to go for especially if you're doing the Netherlands one, it will be go for the Kinetic European one.
I'd say so, because I say the others you'll be hunting around to find one, to be honest. And if you can get one, I don't know. So,
and we've got Kinetic in stock.
Yeah, we've got Kinetic ones.
And we've got it in stock, So
we've got
that's what I would go, David. Go from there. You can get aftermarket bits for the tail for it, and this is going back when it first got released because a lot of people were doing it. And you can get aftermarket tails for them to have the different brake chutes, because some of them there's like a jammer system that can go in there, and they have different lumps and bumps on them, which just changes the profile of the tail a little bit. But have a look at those ones. I can't remember if the Hasegawa one has the different tails in it. They did have I'm just to say I haven't built one now for 15 years, but I'm pretty sure they had a bit that went on. So I'm wondering if at some point they had one with a brake chute on it as well.
Well,
I've built one before, but I can't.
Not an Hasegawa one?
Yeah, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I built the Teleri one, which I presume is their kit at some point, and I won't know. If I don't know, I wouldn't know if that's got it. I would have thought it has because it is a Dutch one, but I don't know with F-16s that well, if I'm honest. But I just like the tail art.
Yes, they do have nice tail art.
They do.
Okay, Paul says, hi guys, not a question, just wanted to say a big thank you for posting out my auction wins, both of which arrived this morning. Extra thanks to Phil for the additional goodies too. No problem, Paul. Wally says, hi guys, a question for Nathan. Wrong show.
And it's for John.
And it's for John. Yeah, John's building the Sea Sprite, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right, we'll defer this one till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he can do it on the other show. So yeah, we'll do that one now. Okay, so George says, hi Phil, Matt and Andy. The new Bronco, is it a 1cm? Is that an ICM? 48 scale, OV10. Will we be having it in stock?
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Yes, and yes.
Graham says, hi guys, what do you think of the sprue shot to the Tamiya F4B? So yes, I've seen this. This is the pictures of. So nice. To be honest, yeah, you sort of knew they would go for that one. It's the most colourful one they do. So what I was looking at is this. So this is the way that they've done it here. So obviously it's got the spine, so they could do the US Air Force or Navy version and all the rest of it. But the interesting thing is they've done the side pod side area of the forward fuselage separately, So the only difference that I can see is these holes down in here, and then for the refueling probe, but they've done it as a separate fit, which is interesting because I've never known anybody else do it that way.
Weird, isn't it?
So it is an interesting one that they've thrown that in. And then also the thing is that sort of took my eye a little bit was, where is it? I've got to see where it is now. You get 2 canopies, open and closed, by the way.
Right.
Where is it?
Is there a section to go over the spine then a bit?
Yeah, there is a separate one. Also, there's this one in here of how they've done the wheel wells, which I've never seen it done that way before. So what it is, you've got the wheel wells, but they've put like a strengthening plate right the way through it, which is an interesting little thing. And then this guy here is where the compressory bits are and all the rest of it for the blow down doors is all moulded in one. Never seen it done that way before as well, so that was interesting. Yeah, the spine's over here. So again, if you look at this, it's got the pylons and the various bits and pieces here in the gear and this one. So this is obviously for the Navy version. So you can imagine them redoing it for the Air Force version as well. So it's got the little lumps and bumps for the tops of the wings and stuff. So it's definitely got other versions coming this out. Where was it? Was it in here? So this is your cockpit, sort of generic. But again, how they've done the cockpit with these spaces on the sides to hold it all exact. It just shows the level of engineering. We often talk about, obviously, you know, overdoing it a bit. But it's a clever way that they've gone round and done this one. And again, they've got the little in-bits here for the refueling probe coming through, which the Navy one has. Obviously, the Air Force one uses the other system. Up in here as well, obviously, you've got the slight differences with the tailplanes, the nose, the little bits around the engines, the things down in here, and the forward slats. So again, it just shows how there's lots, well, I wouldn't say there's tons of them, but there's definitely other versions coming down the line. So the wings, obviously, you can have the bigger and the thinner wings as well. The way they've done this as well. So it makes sense that you will see other versions coming out. The one thing you don't see though is an E. You don't get the long nose version out of this. So they haven't chopped off this area to have the long nose version.
Right.
But they've done the underside. You could do a recce version out of it, but you couldn't do an F4E out of that. They'd have to change the entire fuselage.
So they ain't going to do that then, are they?
So I think they're not going to go down the E route with it unless they're going to do an entire different fuselage for it, which makes sense to do it, but they're not chop and changing it that much, if you know what I mean. You can do the Navy and the early ones, but you're not going to be doing the E family, the long nose version. They'd have to do a new fuselage for it. But
I have to see, they're going to do a J, aren't they?
Yeah,
D,
J's going to come through here.
J.
I think they can do an S out of this as well for the more modern ones, things like that as well. So, yeah. But no, she does look nice.
Yeah.
Very nice indeed.
Well, you know it's going to be Tamiya Engineering, don't you? So you know that separate nose bit is just going to be a perfect fit.
Yeah.
There's going to be no steps, no filling, it's just going to...
That's it. And the way they've done this back end as well, because obviously the engines are different from between this version and the later ones. They've got it nicely lined up, ready that it'll just be a replacement for the bits around here.
Yeah.
Again, so what's nice is they're not sort of shoehorning new into the old. They've completely, it'll be a nice way of doing it. So it does look nice. It's just the engineering, it looks really over-engineered. But again, I think that's because it's modular, having those braces in and the way that the gear works with the wings, because let's face it, the wings aren't floppy on that thing. They're pretty solid in there the way they go in. But again, they've put in a strengthening system that goes through it as well. So yeah, I don't know if it's slight over-engineering, but yes, it definitely looks very nice the way they've done it.
Yeah, but Tamiya over-engineering and other companies is that'll fit.
Yeah,
And that go together, and it's not a massive parts count, is it? Let's be honest, you're going to get... you're going to get your money's worth, aren't you? But
absolutely, yes.
It's going to be buildable. Where other companies have gone down, well, let's break this down into 15 separate parts and another bit. And tell me you don't do that. That's not what they do. It's going to be an enjoyable build, like the Tomcat, like everything they produce, really, isn't it? It's geared to the builder, not for the parts count. And
the only area I couldn't work out was this. This is the wing tanks. But if you notice, it's got an infill for the bottom. But I didn't realise there was any different versions. I can't understand why you would need to put the two halves together than this. All the other Phantom family is just two halves go together, and that's it. But they've designed this infill which goes in the bottom of it, under there. And I'm thinking, why would you need to do that? You know, it just seems to be. I can't think of a reason whilst there's different versions that they would need to change that out. I could be wrong. I don't know the Phantom that well on their fuel tanks, but these are the wing tanks, if you like, and it's a two halves normally go together and that's it. But they've got this infill which then goes in underneath, and I'm thinking, why? Why would you need that?
Maybe you can make a canoe out of it.
Well, they could do, because they were used extensively, aren't they, down in Vietnam as canoes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you do get a pilot figure as well, which is a nice touch. So you get the crew.
Oh right, okay, that's good.
So you do get a little pilot down here as well. So, but yeah, I thought it was quite an interesting kit on that one. Interesting the way that they've gone through with all of those.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Roger says, will PM be stocking the Airfix Cromwells?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're waiting for them to come in.
So we've got a pre-order on those. So as soon as they come in, they should be dropping very, very soon. And then Jeremy says, hi team, I'm planning on building the HMS Exeter, and I'm wondering if you're able to get hold of Hitaka C503 and probably 507 Royal Navy Grey.
No. People's asked us this before. I've had phone calls about this. No, we can't get the Navy colours. They don't stock them in sets. I don't know if you can get them in sets. But as far as I know, we'll do a bit of research and let you know. But I'm 100% sure, because somebody's asked, can you get it in blue line? And they definitely don't do it in orange line, and they definitely don't do it in blue line. Whether we can get it in red line, we might. I don't know. So we'll drop you a message. We'll have a look and let you know.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, specials. Just nipped at specials.
Specials?
Yeah, just before we leave. We have got some specials in. These are going to be changing probably Fridays. We're going to change them. I think Fridays is a better day in it.
It seems to be, doesn't it?
It seems to be an easier day. So they will be updated and whatever. So if you want anything, please grab it quick.
Grab it quick, so probably going to change.
It'll be gone back to normal, and then something new will be coming in.
I'm surprised the B25's still there.
Yeah, I am.
Because we were talking about this the other day, weren't we?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I am. Especially that one, because you get, being Italeri, it's like you really get cracking decals with it.
Yeah, you get
really,
loads of decals
really good
for it.
schemes with that one. So yeah, I'm a little bit surprised, but hey, you know, it's one of them. The Jags have gone though. The Jags have been popular. The Kitty Hawk and
And one customer had 4 HE111s.
yeah,
Got a collection of HE111s. Way to do it,
good.
isn't it?
Yeah, keep them busy. So
Excellent.
so that's it really for this week.
Good job. Fantastic. Well, look, we'll all be back with you, obviously, tomorrow night live at 7:30, and then obviously we'll be with you live, obviously with the updated specials, and hopefully all the bits and pieces that have come in and everything else like that for the TFI Friday show from live
TFI
3
Friday,
o'clock across the internet.
Yes.
Cool. Well, if we're good, we'll call it quits there, guys. Thank you very much for joining us today. We will see you all again very, very soon. So, till later, happy modelling. Take care. Bye. Wave.
See you later.
Bye.
No, satellite delay.